Alright, we are right back into another Dragon Ball Super Card Game video. This one, yeah, it's Golden Frieza. Who knew? Who knows? It's Golden Frieza. I haven't touched this leader in a long time. As soon as it came out, as far as the starter deck stuff, and then the green yellow stuff came out, I was just like, I didn't want to touch it because now other people were playing. I'm like, oh well, a little too late for that. But now I kind of want to revisit it and put my take on this and introduce a few more concepts in it and kind of the play style that I like to play, basically. So if you didn't know, and before we do that, please go check out the last video I did for Dende Storm. It's a pretty good video, pretty good blue yellow deck. This is one to watch out for, and as well as understand how to play. Very, like I said, high risk, high reward type thing, etc., etc. This one is more of a fringe slash rogue deck that can do really well. I think has a lot of different strengths and all that other stuff. But if you like Golden Frieza, if you like this build, if you have your own, if you like this one compared to the other ones you've seen before, let me know in the comments below. And as well as subscribe if you're new, because you know, every week I try to do a deck profile, maybe 1, 2, 3 of them, and like, dislike, all the other stuff. But Golden Frieza, let's talk about him for a second. He's a what? BT1? He's a galactic battle? What? Hello? Activate main. So his front side says you place one Frieza Army's battle card in the drop area and you choose one to switch to active mode. When your energy, that is, and you draw one card. This one's a flip 2 and draw 2. The other side is the same thing. It's just that you untap 2 and then you draw a card. And of course it has on auto when you swing. So this is more focused. Again, it is good in the way of what it wants to do for its leader effect, because you have quite a bit of targets to go through. But this is also similar into more of a hand controlling, and as well as just doing a lot of stuff in one turn, right? A lot of good decks do a lot of stuff in one turn as far as actions per turn, and as well as untapping, and as well as having multiple attackers. This does do that. And the concept that I wanted to go through this is to implement Broly and have a little bit more of KO for Chilai, and as well as surprise attack Frieza, and as well as using a smaller but yet effective yellow package. This really is green heavy, which you can kind of see here just by looking at the deck. And it does play Shigesh, in which it does abuse explosive Sangoku, and as well as the 3-drop Broly. I did want to reintroduce that into some of your minds and some of your heads. So anyway, let's go left to right to kind of go through the deck itself. So Chilai, the Frieza Force Soldier, basically this is a good part of the deck. You know, this is a good draw engine. This is a good kind of go off and do things kind of thing going on, right? And the thing about her is that you draw one from her, and then you pay a green and a colorless in order to play one green Frieza's Army card, or not green Frieza's Army card. I'm sorry. It is a green Frieza's Army card. This is just easier for me to take a look at or to show. And you play it. So the targets for that, because again it is 2 or less, is Frieza, of course. So that way, if you don't have already a Frieza's Call to play him out or in your hand in order to awaken, this is probably going to be the best way to awaken, and as well as to swing and untap 1 and draw 1. It's just, you just kind of keep going with that. And then you also have Chilai the Beautiful, which is probably going to be the second best target outside of Speedy Partner Limo, in which you play this card and they choose one from the drop, from the hand to the drop area. There are, I believe, no other targets, so I would say those are going to be the best targets for that. In the sideboard, we do have Frieza's Biding His Time, so you could play that with Frieza's Call, but again, this is just going to be a green Frieza's Army card. But knowing that, and knowing the targets for that, this one, and as well as this one, that's all you really need in the deck itself. The deck, or the leader, replaces itself and untaps 1, and draws 1 right after, so you kind of pay this for 1. You know, that's the biggest thing here. The other thing is that Infernal, again, you take a life right after you play it. Son Gohan, or Gohan himself, is going to be really useful as well, in case you want to have an alternative way to awaken. This is really good because it gets around Crisis Crusher, and it's good for the leader effect, so that's kind of self-explanatory. But because this is focusing on critical, hand destruction, and as well as control, Gohan is a really good add for that. So if you play him, you sack him, you draw into a Gohan, I would play him's attack, and then take a life, and then just keep that card advantage up. So I would highly recommend to keep these in hand if you do have them. And then Chilai, her once per turn is that as soon as you KO something on either their turn or your turn, then you go ahead and have them drop one card from their hand. This is just good because she's a 15k attacker. She's only 2 costs. You can sack her with the Frieza ability as soon as you have the once per turn effect in effect, and as well as it's just good synergy. Speedy Party Limo, I rarely ever attack with these guys, but I would definitely, or him, I guess, I would definitely I would definitely say he's a really good target for the leader effect to sack and then untap 2 on the Awaken side, because that's usually when it happens. If not, he's just a good attacker. And as you can see, this doesn't really play too many big bodies outside of Broly and maybe Mass Saiyan, but it doesn't really have a finisher. So if you've seen any other Golden Frieza decks, it just kind of attacks, it kind of untaps, it draws, it controls, all the good stuff. That's why this is a pretty damn good leader, and I would say myself it's a pretty good deck too. But the Android 13 is a 3 cost, 2 green, critical, and as well as pay 2, activate main and make them drop 1 and KO something. The reason why this is good in this deck is because not only that you have the way of, let's say, Unawaken turn 3, you play him for 3, obviously, you untap 1 and sacking one of your Frieza's Army card, and then you draw 2, and then you play another one, untap 2, and then you play this guy's effect to make them drop 1. This in correlation with this, with these, with this is all really good, and as well as another way of removal, right? So these two are pretty good in itself. I only played at 1. You can always play it at 2, but I found that yes, you get to untap energy, which is good because of most of the things that you do with this deck really is only quote unquote 1 or 2 energy when you really think about it. But because he has to be on board in order to use the activate main and pay 2, which you can do as many times as you want, is not once per turn. It's a little bit tougher to have him be played on a consistent basis. But a 20k attacker who is critical is pretty damn good. So I would recommend to look a little bit more further into him. So the other cards, the Broly line. So skipping the Frieza surprise attack of Frieza, which is a really good card in this deck. I'm just saying, it's just all this is really good synergy. The people who made I forget their name at this point, but the people who made the first versions of this deck, even Henry Du, who was in the Vegas a while back when I made that deck profile, they had the right idea in all of this, and this is why I like it so much. But surprise attack Frieza is really good in the Broly, the Android 13, the Crisis Crusher Goku, even, etc., etc. So I really do like this because you get a swing for 15k critical and then sack the effect after it's free. So pretty good. Anyway, the Broly line. So you play this guy with Shigesh, but you don't really need to when you really think about it. You play this for 3 for 2 green, again, just like Android 13, and then you use an effect of your leader to untap 1 or to untap 2, and then use one of these guys in order to make them drop 2 cards, and now you have a 20,000 double striker or a 30,000 double striker. If you are in between, like I am, I would play both of them. I would recommend, or I would advise, in which saying this is really only a 2 cost when Endless Evolution Broly is on board, and then this guy is a 3 cost when he's on board too. You're really never ever going to be playing these guys hardcast, even if you can untap energy. I wouldn't recommend it, but I would also say that it is just good with a Shigesh target, especially if they only have 1 card on board, or 1 card with 1 barrier, so they have to choose this one. This doesn't choose for you. They have to choose 1 in case you wanted a refresher on the Broly. And again, it reduces the evolve cost by 2 green. So these guys, again, 2 and 3 respectively. So those are that, and this kind of goes with these guys. 2 Jacko, 2 Shigesh, kind of self-explanatory with these cards, and as well as with Sengoku. The 2 Crisis Crusher, because this deck really loses to Borgos and as well as any untap people. If you run into a Veku, then unfortunately, I don't know what to tell you. You know, you're gonna have to tech in some like 3-star ball or something else, because you can't play the 3-drop Vegeta. You have to have red. You can't Challenge Wish it out, and you can't really do anything outside of that. Right now, Gogeta and as well as the Gogeta line for Veku isn't really being played too often right now, so I wouldn't really worry about that right now. But this deck can operate outside of untapping energy. You really want to do that. The Crisis Crusher with 1 in the side, that's always really good. Mass Satan is the only overrun we have because of mass removal, just to warp, you know, stuff that is going to drop like Wish Leaders. This is much better for that, so that way you can go ahead and put into warp and you don't have to worry about them Child's Wishing or Warp Piecing something out. And it's just good. It's just good as a kind of a pseudo finisher. Just a double striker, 20,000, and you just combo out your little guys. It's not bad. I think it's not bad. If you wanted something else, you know, Mirrors on the side, Scientist Fu is an option. You know, the 5-drop Bardock, even that sort of thing. Koboless, and as well as the rest of the yellow package, is really just for more control. Koboless is just self-explanatory yet again. You just Koboless any good target out there, anything that untaps, anything that KOs, anything that removes something, anything that is bad for you, right? You say no. There you go. Goodbye. Not many people are playing minus, which is really interesting. And if you're playing red, you should play minus. If you're playing anything that untaps, you should play minus. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just alone in that. Death Ball is really good because the leader card is Frieza, so you get both effects. So the first effect is that you get 15k power for the racing turn on their turn or your turn, and then if it's your turn, you get to KO something in rest mode. This is really good against Broly, in which this deck is not bad against Broly. I think this does have some answers against the meta, I think, because now with Broly, usually they only have 1 or 2 cards on board, and they only only have 1 or 2 battle cards on board. So when you Shigesh into Endless Evolution Broly, or you just play him, they have to pick that card. And if they play out another Broly, you can just Death Ball it. So you have options for that. And then Find Imps at 4, just better than Time Magic right now. That's all I can really say. And then Frieza's Call for all the targets that I mentioned before, especially if it's not green, which all of these are green, so don't worry about it. So we have an Eden Power. This, again, just like my last deck profile, it's just an idea of sideboard cards and just suggestions. This is not a really set sideboard. But Hidden Power E Supreme Kai, in correlation with the critical that you have already, and just as a because you don't main it, so it's just good to have, and as well as with Mira, it's always good. You have a Battering as well as in the side at 1, so it's not too bad. I don't think you really need a Battering for any of these guys. Just like I said, swing it as much as you can. Energy Barrage Frieza. So the reason why I did this is because Energy Barrage Frieza, if you didn't know, is a Frieza's Army card, so you can sack him, which, you know, is a 20,000 double strike barrier card. Don't really want to do that, but if you have to, you can. So if you play it for 4 and you want to sack it on tap 2, hey, I'm more power to you. But if you play this card, you choose one of their battle cards with barrier, ignoring barrier and KOing it. This is specifically on curve for the How to Mastery / Path to Greatness decks. So if you believe that that is something that you have issues with, this is an incredible card. Again, I really want to make sure that you know, in these deck profiles and as well as other ones, which is why I'm using a sideboard in this one, that people are considering the answers to some of these problem, or quote unquote problem decks like How to Mastery. This is a really good card for that. So I would highly recommend to look into that, and as well as this card in general. But we have that card. We have Crusher Ball for anything that needs to be Crusher Balled. Freezes Body at the time in case you need to tap down a FR Goku anytime, especially with the Frieza's Call. And then Godly Destruction Whis, self-explanatory for that. Dark Power Massaiyan, just replace the Gohans instead, so that way you can giddy up on these. I don't know. Why would I say that? I don't know. Why would I? Who knows? On these Child's Wish decks, or anything else like Chain Attack Zeno. Crisis Crusher again in the side to make sure you see it, and then Mirror Creator's Orb. So that's pretty much the deck. And overall, I think it can go off quite a lot. Like, you can just keep going, you keep attacking, you keep untapping, you keep doing stuff, right? And I think that's the beauty of the deck. And not only that, is that you do a lot of things that affects the opponent as well. I think green-yellow is a really good combination, and I would highly recommend to try it out to see what's up. But let's go to the gameplay. All right, let's see what we got here. Shout out to Low Prince, if that's how you say your name. I forgot to tell you. That I might use this as gameplay. I know he watches the video, so shout out to you. Thank you for helping me play this out. I know we played a couple games, and this one unfortunately my man was playing mainboard Cronoa, so it was an interesting looking deck, and I knew he was trying to do. It was similar to what I was trying to do, but I went ahead and mulligan for a couple different things here, and played out the Broly into energy and into the Frieza. I didn't sack it. If I thought about it a little bit better here, I probably would have sacked it and then untap one and then draw another. We'll draw two and then play the Chilai. So that was my bad on that one. He's gonna go ahead and use Granoa, which I was just like, oh, of course I would do that, or of course I would go against something like that. But I went ahead and just took it here because I have two ways to awaken, which is one, the Frieza's Call into the Infernal Frieza, and then take a life. The crit there didn't really matter because he was playing Cronoa, so I was eventually going to see that again. And then he was just saying what's going on here. Him attacking, don't really agree with that, but hey, that's just the way that we learn our decks, I'd say. I went ahead and charge the Death Ball. Unfortunately, I didn't see another Broly because, you know, that would be pretty nice here, but oh well. I went ahead and took the life here, which is looking pretty good because now I'm going to go ahead and sack the Frieza, play the Frieza's army yet again, and then play out the the Chilai, because now what I'm going to do is maximize all of what I have, which I'm going to untap or draw two and then swing at the Gohan. I'm going to draw one again. He's going to have to drop one for the Chilai, and then I play out the Frieza for free. And this is kind of where the deck is pretty comfortable in, I think, in which you start out really or pretty well, and then make sure that they don't have a a way to kind of defend and as well as deny them any kind of resources. So I went ahead and played another Chilai, drew another one, and I was just like, okay, cool. So now I have two of them. He can easily kill one with a Shocking Death Ball or a leader effect, but we will see what's going on here. Charges the Gohan, which I'm curious to see why. But we'll go ahead and see the Chilai. Again, trying to see something similar. I have a couple less in hand with the yellow untapped, but we will see what else he has in store for me. I do like to play here, in which I'm going to go ahead and play the Android 13, I do believe, but he goes ahead and passes. I mean, I would probably, play the Gohan and swing, but I think he wants the Chilai out one more time, or having the Chilai so that way he can go ahead and untap two, or tap two, that is, in order to get what he needs later from the deck. Swing into leader with a 15k critical, no negates. Wanted to go ahead and use the I wanted to use the Chilai effect first because his Shocking Death Ball can easily kill it, and I can't use it again, but oh well. I'm gonna go ahead and play the Gohan, so that way I can reserve the 20k critical from the Android 13 on his flip side. So what usually happens is that, someone would wait until like their 15k attacker. So if it's a 15k attacker, they can easily awaken and then combo of 5k. But now they can awaken, and now they have the combo of 10k, which he has me dropping a card from his super combo. So now I can freely attack as a leader. Not too big of a deal here. Just 15 to 15, nothing too big or nothing too crazy. and pass turn. So now I have an Android 13 on board, in which can KO anything, which I know he's gonna die. Like if I had to kill something off and I was him, it's gonna be the Android 13. The Frieza is kind of an issue, but you know that's just dealer's choice, I think. Because what's cool is that, again, with Android 13, you can untap 2, or tap 2 that is, make them drop a card and KO something, and then sack like the Chi-Lai or the 15k attacker Frieza, and then untap 2. Interestingly enough, he plays the 1-drop Vegeta, probably tacked in for the Kid Goku. I would highly recommend to look into that as a sideboard card as well. A really, really good card. I was just messing with him as far as saying that's not nice to play the Cronoa with 2 Shigesh in my hand. Didn't play that ones before I didn't play those before because I didn't have any targets for it. So I was just like, nah. What I could have done though, instead of dropping the Crisis Crusher, is that early turn I could have went ahead and played Shigesh into Crisis Crusher because he is a Saiyan and 3-drop, and then remove off his Chi-Lai and prevent anything else before after that. So he's gonna go ahead and remove 2 underneath Cell. Good old Cell with his draw 2 and remove 2 to KO, and then KO my bad boy, my bad old Destruction King of Guy King, whatever. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know what I'm saying. That Frieza, the 1-drop Frieza, is probably gonna be not bad to play, simply because he is a choose up to 1 life. So if you want a quick untap 2 for 1, and as well as a 10k attacker, it's not that big of a deal. Went ahead and dropped the Broly because I didn't really need it. Ironically enough, got the Kid Goku. So I'm gonna go ahead and I misplayed here actually because it plays it out instead of playing in rest. I'm an idiot. I should have just not did that. So oh well, I guess. So we're just talking about Cronoa. But yeah, I misplayed that. It would have been an extra attack because it is playing instead of playing rest mode like the whatchamacallit, Frieza's Call. So I'm a dummy on that one. So it takes the life, goes down to 2. It would be nice to have my Broly and as well as my Shigesh into the 3-drop, which is a 6-drop Broly, make him drop 2 and then swing into a 30,000 double striker, but can't have everything in the world, right? So he went ahead and shook a shell. Shook a cell. Say that time. Excuse me, say that 5 times fast. And probably gonna go ahead and put something underneath. Just double impact Krillin. Don't really need that right now, right? Could kill my Chi-Lai, I guess. But went ahead and draw 2, and now he's just thinking about that BROLY'S. And no response to that one, no matter what the thing is. So he's probably thinking about making me drop a card as he plays the Chi-Lai correctly in active mode, not rest. Oh boy. And he's just thinking here, I do believe, as we wait. Just thinking here, well, he's gonna go ahead and swing here. I'm probably gonna go ahead and defend it. You know, not too big of a deal here. You know, I could have Nimbused, which is okay. I mean, he would have just swung into, excuse me, Chi-Lai. Or swung with Chi-Lai, that is. So I went and comboed out the regular combo. That way I can prevent me from dropping a card. Just thinking about Nimbusing here, so that way he doesn't have any issue or any options for that. I wasted the Shigesh because it's just a Shigesh at this point. It's just a 10k combo for free. Comes a Scientist Fu, which I went ahead and cold-bloodlust. I'm happy to take the 1 damage. Or what, something that he's gonna excuse me, to go ahead and KO, make me drop something. That's not nice. Went ahead and dropped the Frieza's the Death Ball. Just thinking about the Cobalescence and the warp, or the overwhelm effect. As far as I know, just I was saying, I do believe it goes to warp because it pens. If anybody ever has anything against that, well, let me know. I don't know what I was doing here. Probably fixing something on my end to make sure it works. And then, let's say no charge, don't really need it. Go ahead and play, I think, the Limo. Yeah. Hopefully I play it in active. Do I play it in active mode? Yes, I do. Okay, cool. I didn't misplay that one. So that's good. And swing into the cell. Looking pretty good at 3 cards in hand, 2 life, 15 to 15. Taking that 1 life, okay. If I had to think about it, probably would have swung with the Frieza yet again. A critical one, that is. Make him drop another one here. I'm going to go ahead and sack the one that I already attacked. Untap 1. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and swing with the Gohan. There's another 15 attacker. And I get a card, which is another Chile. So that doesn't really matter, right? So I'm going to go ahead and combo out 25. I do believe that is game, if I am correct. So GG's all around. My man couldn't get around it. So that is the deck itself. Hopefully you like it. Hopefully you kind of get the understanding of it. People who are better than me can probably play this deck a little bit better, but the concept is still there, and as well as all the options that you have to play it. So please let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, dislike, all that other stuff, and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you in the next one. Later.